Today we're going to work on the distributive property. The distributive property is essentially the ability to multiply a sum or a difference by a number. That should say difference there. Let me fix that for us. So a sum or a difference by a number. And if we look at a sum or a difference, we're talking about an addition problem or a subtraction problem. So here is an example. This is very, very basic and super general. We have A times the quantity B plus C. So essentially this concept right here is equivalent to us saying A times B plus A times C. These are equivalent. They are equal expressions. If we were to put numbers in there for these, if we were to say 2 times 1 plus 3, that is also equal to essentially 2 times 1 plus 2 times 3. So 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6, so 2 plus 6 is 8. And we can also do this in our head. 1 plus 3 is 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. So we know these are equal. They are equivalent expressions. So let's do a couple of practice problems. Here is our first practice problem. Actually, I'll make this small so we can see both of them. Here are our practice problems. We have 6 plus 3, the quantity 6 plus 3 times 4. So this can be rewritten as 6 times 4 plus, I'm adding a plus because there is a plus right there, plus 3 times 4. So now we can do the math. 6 times 4 is 24 plus 3 times 4 is 12. So our answer to this is 36. Let's check our work and see if that's correct. We can go back here to our original equation and we can say 6 plus 3, that is 9. And that quantity times 4 is 36. So these are equivalent expressions. Now let's look at one of these with a subtraction problem. So let's look at this problem right here. If you notice, I'm doing the rainbow method each time, and if I do that, I can keep track of my work. So I'm going to start out with the rainbow method. Here we have 4 times 9, and instead of adding a plus, I'm going to add a minus. So I can say minus 2 times 4. In all reality, it doesn't matter how we show these numbers. We just need to make sure that the minuses and the pluses are going along with the right numbers. Okay, so here we have 4 times 9, that is 36, minus 2 times 4, which is 8, so our answer is going to be 28. We can check our work here. We can say 9 minus 2, this information is 7, and 4 times 7 equals 28. So there we go. We have equivalent answers for equivalent expressions. So now we are going to use the distributive property on a couple of questions. So use the distributive property to write an expression that has an equivalent algebraic expression. So essentially, as of right now, it's algebraic because there are variables in these questions. And we need to write something that is equivalent using the distributive property. So the distributive property is using that sort of rainbow method. Let's do this first one. We have 2 times the quantity A plus 5. We have 2 times A plus 2 times 5. So this can be simplified and rewritten. We can say 2A or 2 times a, doesn't matter, either one works. But we can say I can do this 2 times 5, and that gets me 10. So my final answer is 2a plus 10, using the distributive property. This next question has negatives in there, and it has a minus sign. So just so I can keep myself on track, I'm going to do something a little different this time. I have negative 7 times the quantity e minus 4. This e minus 4, this can be rewritten. Here is another equivalent expression for this situation. This is an equivalent expression. Watch this. We can say e plus a negative 4. That is equivalent to e minus 4. So we can now do this work. We can do the work 7 times e, negative 7 times e plus negative 7 times a negative 4. So we have negative 7 times e. We can't simplify that any further, but we can simplify this information. Negative 7 times a negative 4. The negatives will cancel out, so we have a positive 28. So to get this all into one single expression, we can simplify this further and say negative 7e plus 28 is our final answer. And these are equivalent expressions, just like these are equivalent expressions. I hope this helps.